right.
Ayan, okay. Yung pala, I needed to click something. Okay.
All right. You're on now. Pag-silip lang sa Facebook.
I hope we're live now. Anyway, welcome to our listeners. Good morning. Guten Morgen. Magandang umaga po. Welcome to our webinar on POLO, OWWA, SSS, and Pag-ibig Services. I am Consul Rogelio Villanueva, and I will be your moderator for today's webinar. This is the third webinar of the Philippine Consulate General in Frankfurt, since we started making full use of digital tools like Zoom, Facebook, and Instagram to reach out to more of our kababayans, especially during this time of the pandemic. In August, we remember we conducted a financial literacy seminar in line with the Consulate's Economic Diplomacy Program. Last month, we also hosted an online art exhibition as our cultural event to benefit the Filipino artists who were affected by the pandemic. For today's webinar, we will be focusing on consular matters, specifically on the services provided by our partner agencies. And we have invited 4 of our colleagues from our partner agencies, POLO, OWWA, SSS, and the Pag-ibig, to give us updates on the services that they provide. 2 of them will be joining us from Berlin, Germany, while the 2 other speakers are participating from their post in Milan, Italy. To formally open the webinar, I am pleased to present our Consul General, the Honorable Evelyn Austria Garcia.
Thank you very much, Consul Bong. Good morning, magandang umaga po sa inyong lahat. Guten Tag alles zusammen. Welcome to this webinar that will inform us about the services of POLO, OWWA, Pag-ibig, SSS in this time of the pandemic. The seminar should have been held last June during our Independence Day week, but because of the pandemic, it had to be canceled. The pandemic has affected all of us, some more severely than others. Many have lost their jobs and have returned to the Philippines, while some have opted to stay and weather this pandemic. We assure you that all those who have been affected, that the government extends its support and assistance. We are happy to have with us today representatives of POLO, OWWA, SSS, and Pag-ibig to tell us what these programs and services are. I wish to express our thanks to Attorney Delmar Cruz, our labor attaché, Ms. Sylvia Gabriel, our welfare officer. Both are based in the Philippine Embassy in Berlin. We have as well Ms. Jesselyn Sia, our SSS representative, and Ms. Mylene Lontok Pintor, member services of Pag-ibig, who are both based in our Consulate General in Milan, Italy. It is good to see all of you again. Okay, so there will be an opportunity to ask questions after their presentations. Meanwhile, I turn you over to our moderator, Consul Bong Villanueva. Wherever you are, dear audience, please keep safe and well. Thank you very much. And maraming salamat po. You're joining us on a Saturday. We know this is a weekend, and in Germany, it is always time for family. But if you could watch this presentation, I'm sure it would benefit all of us. Okay, so Consul Bong, you have the floor. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Conjen, for your kind message and welcome. As mentioned earlier, we are fortunate to have with us today four resource speakers. First, we will have the presentation of POLO and OWWA, followed by the SSS and the PAG-IBIG. Each speaker will be given 15 minutes, and at the end of all the presentations, we will have the open forum or the question and answer. I therefore invite the audience to listen carefully to each presentation and send your questions through the comment section of the Facebook or by direct message to or private message through Facebook Messenger. We will try our best to accommodate as many questions as possible. Having said that, may I introduce our first speaker. He is currently the labor attaché of the Philippine Overseas Labor Office based in the Philippine Embassy in Berlin, Germany. His office has jurisdiction over Belgium, Luxembourg, the Netherlands, Russia, and of course, Germany. Prior to his posting in Germany, he was assigned as labor attaché in Al Khobar in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, South Korea, Dubai in United Arab Emirates, and most latest in Geneva, Switzerland. Back in the Philippines, he was formerly Deputy Administrator of OWWA, and prior to entering the government service, he was a practicing lawyer and labor law lecturer. So napakabigat po talaga ng ating resource speaker. We have worked closely with him and the Philippine Embassy in Berlin, especially during the height of the repatriations for our seafarers. I think it has been 4 months since we last saw each other, Attorney Delmer, during one of the repatriations in Hamburg. I'm sure there's plenty of work for our first speaker with 5 countries under his jurisdiction. In fact, I'm aware that you have another webinar coming up this afternoon. Ladies and gentlemen, may I present to you our workaholic labor attaché, Attorney Delmer Cruz.
Thank you very much, Consul Bong, for that very kind and generous introduction. Good morning, colleagues. Good morning, Madam Consul General Evelyn Garcia. At kasama ko ulit dito yung mga nakasama ko nasa Polo Geneva kami in rendering outreach services, no? Si Jess ng SSS at saka si Miles. Good morning sa inyong dalawa dyan sa Milan. And of course, my colleague will join me later, Welfare Officer Sylvia Gabriel. I have prepared a PowerPoint presentation. Let me just share it. Okay, do you see it on the screen now?
Yes, Labat, we see your presentation.
Yeah. So, what's the Philippine Overseas Labor Office? The Philippine Overseas Labor Office, or POLO for brevity, is the overseas operating unit of the Department of Labor and Employment, which is our mother agency. And it's tasked to implement labor policies and programs, firstly to facilitate employment, while at the same time protecting the rights and promoting the welfare of Filipinos working abroad. So these are the keywords: facilitate employment or employment facilitation, rights protection of overseas migrant workers, and promoting their welfare. Iyan po yung pinaka-core mandate ng POLO. We are present in 4 regions of the world, no? Where there are a considerable number of migrant Filipino workers. In Asia, we have 13 POLOs. In the Middle East, which is the biggest in terms of constituency, we have 15. In the Americas, we have 4. And in Europe, where for which region we are in, we have 8. As mentioned earlier, POLO Berlin, although we are based in Germany, which is our primary jurisdiction, the whole of Germany, which we cover, we were also assigned concurrent jurisdiction, the first being Belgium and Luxembourg, and then the Netherlands, and most recently we were also given the additional jurisdiction to cover Russia. So yan po ang workforce of POLO Berlin currently. We have Welfare Officer Sylvia Gabriel, the photo on the left, and then we have administrative staff Rene Mangune. Hindi po yan si Papa Piolo, no? Medyo nakakahawig lang, no? And then yung photo to my right is administrative staff Maria Elena Quirejero. And recently who joined our team, we have Miss Kelly Abagat. Yung mga nasa Frankfurt area and then the jurisdictions being covered by the Consulate General, we have assigned there Mr. Rene Mangune para mas madali nyo siyang mapuntahan at malapitan if you have concerns or requests for assistance. So, core mandate of POLO, employment facilitation. Ano po ibig sabihin ng employment facilitation? We facilitate employment. There are foreign employers, like in Germany, we have a lot of hospitals who would want to recruit nurses. There are other companies who would like to recruit other skills, professionals like engineers, IT professionals, hospitality staff, etc. They come to us, inquire with us, what are the available jobs or skills, and we respond to their queries. And then the Philippines being a long time sending country, no? Well in place na yung mga frameworks natin and mechanism in facilitating employment. So in its employment facilitation function, we are like an extension of the POEA, no? Philippine Overseas Employment Administration. Just to give you a broader picture, our mother department is the Department of Labor and Employment, and then there are several attached agencies that deals with migration. One of them is the POEA, and then another is the OWWA, Overseas Workers Welfare Administration. You also have the NRCO, National Integration Center for OFWs, and others, no? So POLO is like mini everything on site, no? Our processes are very much intertwined and linked with the processes of POEA. So if there's an employer who would like to recruit a Filipino professional or a worker, the first step is to submit documents to our office, no? Mga tinatawag na employment documents. And then connected to that function of facilitation is the protection of the rights and promotion of welfare of migrant Filipino workers. So, yung mga nasa triple win program ng mga nurses natin, at saka yung mga who came here through the private recruitment track, no? Yung triple win, there's a special track for that. Since it's a government-to-government arrangement, no? Diretso na yung mga documents niyo with the POEA government placement branch. However, those who came here through the private recruitment track, before you came here, yung mga employers ninyo at saka yung inyong yung tinatawag na placement agency, German placement agency, they submitted to us document which we vet, we examine, no? Firstly, to facilitate employment, and second, why does it go to that process? Ito na po, yung second core mandate is the protection of the rights and promotion of welfare. We examine the documents. We see to it that it is in compliance with international standards of the ILO, International Labor Organization, and with the standards both of German labor law and Philippine labor law. We see to it that your employers exist, it has the capacity to hire, to pay you, etc. In other words, to protect yung job seeker who does not know who this employer who will hire him or her, no? Except siguro pag nag-uusap sila sa internet, you have the POLO that vets, checks the background. And in a way, it's like a saying pagka nabet ng polo, no? Parang we're saying you will be in good hands. Your employer is okay. But of course, hindi yung 100%, no? But at least we have a basis. Meron kaming initial basis in order to protect you. Hindi kayo magkakaroon ng problema later. And then yung promotion of welfare, it's a broad aspect, no? Maraming mga activities na developmental and tsaka yung service, which will be discussed earlier, many of which will be taken up by my colleague, being a welfare officer, no, from OWWA, is also connected to this mandate of rights protection. Eto. So, having said the core mandate, we have the programs and services that is anchored on this mandate. As I have explained earlier, we verify employment documents, which means yung process namin, we vet yung job orders being submitted to us by the employers. We ask them for their commercial registrations to see to it that they exist, they are legally registered in the host country, no? So just the vetting process of verification. May ilan sa inyo yung kumukuha ng OEC, no? O yung mga magbabalik manggagawa, they also come to us if they have transferred to another employer, no? Or they transferred from another country and came here, or those who came here but did not pass through the POWA, they're required, before they could get the OEC, to submit to us their employment contract for verification. And then related to that, one major service that we also provide is the issuance of overseas employment certificates, especially do sa mga magbabakasyon, no? In order for you not to queue the long lines in the POEA, you can get it from us. You just email us. We'll provide you our email address later on. And then OWWA membership registration, which is also an equally important task. Since we came here, we have seen a big increase in OWWA membership, especially yung renewal, no? A lot of the nurses have been here for more than 2 years already, and we are here to provide you this service, no, to renew. My colleague Sylvia will explain the details later. Labor and employment services. As I mentioned, yung welfare, that's a very broad mandate, no? Extension of welfare services. First one, yung mga nagkakaroon sa inyo ng mga employment-related concerns, or if not disputes, we refer you to the appropriate mechanisms for dispute settlement. For instance, a triple win, you have a helpline that you can call. For those in the private track, we advise you to first seek redress internally within your employment or organization. And if these mechanisms are not enough, if both parties or all concerned parties are willing, they can request our intercession, our intervention to conciliate and mediate employment-related issues or concerns. Psychosocial counseling is also part of the services that we render. And then yung mga nagkakasakit po, we have had made visits to certain constituents na hospital, nagkasakit, na disgrasya. Jail visitation is also part. Of course, we coordinate closely with our colleagues, the assistance to nationals. And then, okay, itong service na to, this is very important, especially in the light of the so-called pandemic regime that we are in now. Capacity building, no? At saka yung reintegration preparedness. In the German context, yung yung reintegration preparedness, hindi pa masyado, no? Kasi unlike in other countries, ang daming nawawalan ng trabaho, nadi-displace, they're constrained to go home. Pero sa Germany, ang laki-laki ng demand for nurses, no? Health sector, no? That's one sa overseas employment market, yan yung number one na in demand. Of course, IT is also there. So, but that notwithstanding, there are many things that we can discuss, or we can work together with to enhance your skills, to improve your personality, to give you information. Like for example, recently, nag-conduct tayo ng webinar on integration to help to assist our especially yung mga newly arrived nurses to integrate into German culture and society, no? So meron tayong tinatawag na post-arrival integration seminar, which is part of capacity building, no? To enable you to adjust better in your life and in your work here in Germany. And then as mentioned, mamayang hapon meron po tayong webinars on opportunities in the agri sector, which you might be interested in. Well, many of you might not be directly related to that, no, yung endeavor na yon, no, yung agriculture, especially yung mga nurses natin dito. But you have families back in the Philippines. You may have a small parcel of land na pwedeng ma-develop, no? There are opportunities that your dependents, your families can pursue. And those who are listening here, yung mga halimbawa yung mga marriage migrants, no, na nandirito ngayon sa Germany, this is also an opportunity for you. Itong mga webinars that provides information and increases your capacity to improve yourself and your present economic situation. Repatriation assistance, as mentioned by Consul Bong, nagkasama kami. We repatriated a lot of seafarers. I think in Europe, Germany repatriated the most number of seafarers, 6,000 plus ata o 7,000 in total. Okay, special programs. Sabi nga nila, ngayon lahat ng mga agencies, we should look at things, no, the way we conduct our services through a COVID lens, no? Kailangan COVIDized because everything that we do, hindi po natin maihiwalay sa issue ng COVID-19 pandemic, no, to be relevant, because that is the actual needs, and it has changed a lot, no, the way we live, the way we conduct our yung transactions, no. So we were very active in and still is extending the Dole-ACAP program. Ito yung Abot Kamay ang Pagtulong. It's a one-time cash assistance for displaced overseas Filipino workers. We have extended this to our kababayans dito sa Germany and in our other jurisdictions, especially, no. If you're displaced, nawalan ng trabaho, o kaya you still have that work but yung mga iba na-reduce na significantly yung kanilang income because of yung adjustments doon sa kanilang employment, downsizing, etc. Dole has provided and still is providing one-time $200 cash assistance, no? And then ito, relevant to especially sa mga nurses, and we have, I think, given extended 68 or 70 financial assistance to overseas Filipino workers who have been infected with COVID-19. Basta ikaw ay OFW at member ng OWWA, pagka na-infect ka, you just have to present proof of your medical certificate. There's also a one-time cash assistance of $200. No? And then Available din po itong care and food pack upon request. Ina-assess pa namin po dito sa Germany. Wala pang masyado kaming nakitang need, but this one is just there, no? If there would be a request for this, we could extend yung care pack, mga ano yan mga yung mga alcohol, face mask, etc., no? Na kailangan natin sa panahon ngayon ng pandemya. Tapos yung mga nawalan ng trabaho, syempre walang sweldo, meron silang food assistance pack. And then Oasis repatriation assistance, siguro na nung the early part of repatriation on April tsaka May, no? Halos ma-overwhelm ang iba't ibang government agencies natin who are involved doon sa repatriation of thousands of Filipino workers who were displaced from different locations around the world. I think as of today, the total number of repatriated workers is over 200,000 already, no? So because sa initial phase medyo nagkaroon ng hindi masyadong coordination, may mga nabalitaan po tayong nasa Pilipinas na pero na-stranded pa, nasa hotel, extended period of time, 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, etc., no? So DOLE in collaboration with the other agencies, DFA, IATF, DOH, etc., launched this Oasis program. Bago pa lang marirepatriate yung kababayan natin, pinagre-register na po namin online para nakatimbre na po kayo sa Manila bago pa man kayo dumating doon, at organized na po upon your arrival. Naka-arrange na po yung hotel kung saan po kayo i-quarantine in the meantime while waiting for results, and yung transportation has been arranged. So naayos na po natin yung unang yung mga naging challenges that we encountered. Okay. So just some reminders for our kababayans, no, especially now that in the Philippines medyo nagluwag na yung entry tsaka departure, no, compared to the stricter protocols before. If you are leaving for the Philippines, lalo na ngayon, magpapasko, baka ilan sa inyo magbabakasyon. Some reminders. Number 1, yung OEC, no? Just email us if you need assistance for the issuance of your OEC. Iba-iba ang sitwasyon ninyo. Yung iba exempted na, yung iba kailangan pang kumuha. Just email us and we will respond accordingly in accordance with your needs. And then mag-register po kayo dito sa Oasis. Ayan po yung ating link. oasis.owa.gov.ph, and then yung sa Red Cross po naman, andyan din po yung ating link. So with that, I think I will reserve the time for your questions when we go to the question and answer portion. Ito pa pala, muntik ko na makalimutan. Meron pa isang slide. For additional information, just visit the website of the Philippine Embassy. Meron po kaming page doon, and our contact numbers are posted here. You can screen save them, and our email address polo_germany@dole.gov.ph. Maraming salamat po, at vielen Dank.
Thank you very much, Attorney Delmer, for providing us with an overview of the mandate of POLO and for sharing with us information on the services that you provide to our OFWs, especially those who were affected by the pandemic or the COVID-19. Lalo na yung mga nurses natin dito sa Germany. I'm sure marami sa kanila ngayon ang naka-tune in sa webinar natin. So thank you for providing that information, and later on they can send their questions during the open forum. Moving on, we will go to our next speaker. Our second speaker is Miss Sylvia Hipolito Gabriel. She is the welfare officer of the POLO, also based in the Philippine Embassy in Berlin. She has worked at the International Labor Affairs Bureau, or ILAB, of the DOLE as case officer for Middle East Post and coordinator for POLOs and migrant workers Filipino Resource Centers, or FRCs, before assuming the position of supervising labor and employment officer for American and European labor affairs of the ILAB. She was previously posted as OWWA representative in Taipei from 2005 to 2007. I now give the floor to our second speaker, Ms. Sylvia.
Thank you.
Hello. Magandang umaga po sa inyong lahat. Maraming salamat po, Consul Bong, sa iyong pag-introduce po. Kadugtong po ito sa discussion ng ating labor attaché. Ang second core ng mandate ng POLO ay protection of rights and promotion of the welfare of migrant workers. Napakalawak po ito. Kung titignan natin ang component po nito at i-discuss ko po mamaya-maya. Pero bago po ang lahat na mag-proceed po tayo dito sa mga discussions ay nais ko po na pong batiin ng magandang umaga po ang lahat. Consul General Evelyn Garcia, ang aming labor attaché Delmer Cruz, ang officers at personnel ng Philippine Consulate General in Frankfurt, lahat po ng nanunood at nakatutok sa webinar na ito, isa pong magandang araw po sa inyong lahat. Ang Philippine Overseas Labor Office in Berlin po ay natutuwa po na nabigyan po ng pagkakataon at naimbitahan sa webinar na ito para maibahagi po namin ang programa po at serbisyo po ng OWWA. At sa pangalan po ng aming administrator ng OWWA, Administrator Hans Leo J. Kakdak, ikinagagala ko po, ipakilala po ang Overseas Workers Welfare Administration. Ang OWWA po ay ang pangunahing ahensya ng gobyerno po na naatasan para sa pangangalaga ng ating manggagawang Pilipino po sa ibang bansa at kasama po ang pamilya po nito. Isa po itong membership-based organization po na nakaatas po sa Department of Labor and Employment. Ito po ay meron 17 regional welfare offices sa buong Pilipinas po at meron din po tayong 33 office sa buong mundo. Ang pera po ng OWWA ay nanggagaling po sa kontribusyon ng ating land-based at sea-based na sa halagang $25 at ang income from other investments and other sources. Sa pangangalaga po ng pondo ng OWWA po ay meron po tayong Board of Trustees na pinamumunuan po ng ating Secretary of Labor Employment, Silvestre H. Bello III, at ang co-chair nito ay ang ating mahal na administrator ng OWWA, si Hans Leo J. Kakdak po. Dito po sa OWWA po, meron po tayong major trust. Ang una po na trust po nito ay ang palakasin ng overseas operations at palawigin ang social protection on site. At pangalawa po ay ang palawigin ang membership ng coverage. At pangatlo po ay ang pagandahin at lalong paghusayin ng mga programa sa ating miyembro, lalong-lalong na po ang reintegration program. Okay po. Ito po ang ating programa po ng OWWA. Meron po tayong core programs po na tinatawag. Ang una po nito ay ang Social Benefits Program. Pangalawa po nito ang Education and Training Assistance Program. Ang pangatlo po nito ay ang Workers Welfare Assistance Program. At ang pang-apat po ay ang Social Services and Family Assistance. Atin pong isa-isahin ang component po ng mga programa po. Punta muna po tayo sa social benefits program po. Una po nito ay ang disability dismemberment benefit. Ang active member ng OWWA po ay kung sakali po naka-encounter ng aksidente po sa ibang bansa sa kanyang pinagtatrabahuan, ay entitled po siya sa hanggang halaga na 100,000 po. Pero depende po ito sa nature ng kanyang accident. Pangalawa po ay ang active member po ay ito ay nasawi. Ang kanyang legal beneficiary ay makakakuha po ng halagang 100,000 sa natural na pagkakasawi. Kung halimbawa po naman sa aksidente ay umaabot po ng 200,000 ang claim. Dagdag po nito ay burial benefits po na 20,000 peso. Meron din po entitlement ang ating active member ng OWWA. Ito po ay ang supplemental medical assistance for OFWs na tinatawag nating MedPlus. Ito po ay isang na ibibigay po sa isang PhilHealth member at OWWA active member na nagkakaroon ng dreaded diseases na na-ospital. Dito po mayroon pong financial assistance ang OWWA na katumbas na binigay po ng PhilHealth, pero hindi po ito hihigit sa 50,000 peso. Meron din po tayong dagdag pa po mga benepisyo sa ating mga active member. Dati po itong welfare assistance program po ay nai-extend po doon sa mga inactive, pero ngayon po sa bagong regulasyon po ay dapat po sa mga active members na lang po. So, ang isa po nitong component ng ating welfare assistance program ay ang calamity sa mga apektado po, sa mga nasa lugar ng apektado ng mga kalamidad. Nagkakaroon po ng entitlement po ang pamilya po na ibinibigay po ng OWWA. And then, yun pong medical assistance po, doon naman po sa hindi naka-claim, hindi siya under ng MedPlus po, pwede po mag-claim ng medical assistance. And then, bereavement assistance, doon sa mga nasawian. So, meron din po tayong relief assistance po sa mga displays. Okay? Dadako po tayo sa education and training assistance program po. Napakalawak po ang serbisyo po ng being isang active member. Okay? Pre-departure education. Sa una pa lamang po na hindi pa nakakaalis ang ating Filipino workers, ay naroon na po ang OWWA, nandun na po ang suporta niya. Sa pamagitan po ng PIDOS ay isinasagawa po ito para sa bago umalis ng ating mga manggagawa para maihanda sa kanilang mga pag-alis. Ito ay isang araw po na orientasyon na patungkol po pinag-uusapan ang tungkol sa kontrata po, kung ano yung mga detalyado po doon dapat maintindihan ng bawat worker bago siya umalis po. Ang pangalawa po, dagdag po doon sa mga pinag-uusapan doon po sa one-day orientation ay sa bansang pupuntahan, ano mga regulasyon doon. So, ibinibigay na po ng OWWA lahat ng mga ganung detalye po. And then, ano pa po, yung mga paghahanda sa sarili, mga health safety, kaalaman sa pinansyal, ayun po. Sa umpisa pa lang po ay i-share na po ng OWWA sa PIDOS yung kaalaman sa financial para pagpunta, ready na ho tayo, ano ba yung plano ko dahil ang ating worker hindi naman to panghabang buhay. So doon pa lang, i-mindset na ang ating worker, ang bawat manggagawa para dun sa bagay po na ito. Ano pa pong mga discussions, ang mga travel tips, so mga airport assistance at lalong-lalo na po ang mga programa at serbisyo po ng ating mga government. Doon sa pangalawa pong comprehensive pre-departure education program, nire-require po ito, is mandatory po ito para sa mga domestic workers. Ito po ay 4 o umaabot o 6 na araw na pinag-uusapan po dito ay ang language training. Napaka-importante po nito na mapag-aralan po ang lingwahe po bago po umalis dahil po araw-araw yan nakakasama mo employer mo, so dapat aware po tayo doon. And then yung cultural familiarization, napaka-importante po dito sa pagtatrabaho po ng ating mga domestic workers ang ganitong uri ng pag-aaral. Isa pa po na pinag-aaralan ko dun sa training na ito ay ang stress management. Okay? Meron din po tayo sa training program for Filipino workers, ang Seafarers Upgrading Program, na ito po ay nagbibigay po na may pribilehyo po, nagbibigay ng OWWA ng provision po sa halagang 7,500 po tulong po para maabot ng ating seafarers ang competency standards. Dahil ang labanan ngayon po, kailangan upgrade po ating worker. Nandyan po ang OWWA para handang tumulong po para sa ganito paghahanda po sa ating mga marino. Okay? Dadako po tayo sa ating, tuloy pa rin sa under the Educational Training Assistance Program, ay meron po tayong tinatawag na scholarship for dependent sa mga gustong mag-aral na 4-year course. Ito ay ang Education for Development Scholarship Program po. Ang OWWA po ay nagbibigay po ng financial assistance na 60,000 per school year. Sa mga qualified na dependent po na active member ay maaari pong mag-apply at mag-qualify po. Mangyari lamang po na dapat ito po ay single at below 21 years old na kasama po sa graduating ng grade 12 po. So dito po ay meron po itong itong competitive scholarship po na dumadaan po sa pagsusulit na kinakandak po ng ating DOST. Okay? So dito pa po another program po ng scholarship ay ang OWWA Dependents for Scholarship Program. Ito po naman po ay naibibigay para dun sa mga income earner ng mga salary na 600 and below. So meron pong financial assistance na ibinibigay po ang OWWA na about 20,000 peso per school year. Na ganun din po ang requirement sa taas. Ito lang po ay wala na siyang examination sa DOST. Ang importante lang po ipasa mo yung examination sa papasukan mong eskwelahan. Na lahat po na accredited, kung ano po yung preferred ng mag-aaral, okay? Ito po ang Education Assistance or Scholarship. Meron ito po ibinibigay. Ngayon sa panahon ng pandemya, ang ating pong administrator ay naglabas po ng programa na meron pong para doon sa mga napauwi. Dito po ay may financial assistance ako na 10,000 peso for 4 years po siya per year. And then we have the short-term training for OFW sa dependents, skills for employment. Scholars, meron din pong itong ibinibigay ang OWWA po na 14,500 bawat kurso. Okay? Para po doon sa upgrading na gusto nating makakuha ng magandang trabaho. So may tulong po dito, may coordination po ang ating mga opisina po sa welfare, sa mga probinsya po, yung mga sa OWWA po, nagkakandak po ito, makikipag-coordinate lang po. And then another is the information technology training. Napaka-importante po ngayong pandemic na ito po, dahil sa panahon po ito, puro tayo digital literacy po, So napakahalaga po ito. Ito ay binibigay po sa overseas post, ganun din po sa region, sa ating pamilya. Hindi lang limited sa ating worker, kundi pati na ating family. Dito po tayo sa on-site welfare assistance program po. Dito po sa welfare assistance program po ay kaagapay po natin ang ating Philippine Embassy po sa pagbigay ng tulong sa ating mga nanditong manggagawa. Kasi ano po nito, yung mga nagkakandak po tayo ng PAOS, kadugtong po nito yung, di ba, nagpidos tayo kanina, dugtungan po natin yung mga pagtulong po sa ating mga workers sa pagbibigay po ng training, post-arrival orientation program po. Kabilang po nito ay ang pag-assist po doon sa ating mga nagkakaroon ng problema between our workers and employers. And dito po kasama po sa pagbibigay ng assistance po ay ang socio-cultural counseling, pagbibisita po sa hospital sa mga may sakit, tsaka po yung mga reintegration preparedness po. So pumapasok po lahat doon ang mga serbisyo po ng ating OWWA dito sa post. Ganun din po ang membership promotion po para to ensure yung protection ng bawat Filipino workers. At isa pa po ay ang pagpapalakas po na networking po ang POLO sa ating mga Filipino community at mga partner natin dahil iisa naman po ang ating layunin ay makatulong po sa ating mga Filipino workers. Sa in-country management po, yun din po ang mga nito pong assistance ay ang paglaganap po ng pagbibigay ng tulong ng ating home office para i-refer po dito sa post naman din sa mga nawawalang mga worker. So kasama po sa serbisyo natin po dito ay ang pag-trace ng mga whereabouts ng ating mga OFWs. Repatriation program po. Ito po ay ang isang proseso po sa pagbibigay tulong po para mapaayos ang pag-uwi ng ating manggagawang Pilipino. Kabilang po nito ang may sakit at nasawi. Kaagapay po natin dito ang POLO OWWA, embahada po sa pagsasagawa ng repatriation assistance. Kabilang ang emergency repatriation. Sa pagsasagawa ay may coordination po ang lahat sa airport, transportation, assistance, accommodation po at pag-uwi, mapaayos pong pag-uwi na ma-coordinate po ng maayos po sa Pilipinas sa pagsalubong at pagtuloy na pagtulong po dun sa paghahatid sa kanilang mga lugar po sa probinsya. Kasama po dito sa assistance na dito ay ang psychosocial counseling services at saka yung halfway home sa OWWA. Dagdag pa po nito ang reintegration program. Ito po yung dugtong po na nabanggit po ng ating labor attaché, ang reintegration program po ay kabilang ang assistance ng OWWA ay pagsasagawa po ng iba't iba uri na patungkol po sa pagbabalik po ng worker. Kung hindi po manatili man sa post ay at magiging bansa ay patuloy pong nagbibigay po ng orientasyon, training po sa ating mga workers ang ating OWWA at POLO po. Nagkadamay po nito, ang ano po nito ay ang reintegration sa in-country. Meron po ditong enterprise development and loan program. Meron din pong, ang OWWA po ay meron na siyang development loan program po. Meron loan facility ang OWWA na partnership with the Land Bank at DBP. Meron po dito pwede makapag-avail po ng loan dito ang ating active at inactive naman po sa halagang hanggang 2 million po sa individual at saka group loan hanggang 5 million. And then dito po tayo sa Balik Pinas, Balik Hanap Buhay. Ang OWWA po ay nagbibigay din po ng halagang para sa livelihood package dun sa mga gusto mag-umpisang mag-business o kaya patuloy po dun sa mga meron na existing na negosyo po. Okay, sa panahon ng pandemya po, naglabas po ating mahal na administrator po ng para po dun sa mga naapektuhan ng COVID na positive po. Nagbibigay po ang mga overseas post ng $200 po. Magbigay lamang po at makipag-coordinate sa amin po. Patunay yung medical certificate, patunay po na kayo po ay nag-COVID dito po sa Germany. Inaabot po tayo na about 82 po. Dagdag din po na ibinigyan natin ang tulong ng mga ating mga nasa jurisdiction. So umaabot po tayo ng about 121 na naibigay po ng tulong dito sa mga nag-COVID po. Okay. Sa ngayon po, ang OWWA po ay hindi na po kailangan natin laging pumunta. Meron na po tayong OWWA member app. Mag-download lang po sa cellphone at ilagay niyo po yung kung kayo ay active member, i-download po lahat dito at makikita niyo yung inyong mga profile po, ano yung mga programa po, gusto niyo i-avail, available po ito. Pwede na pong mag-renew din through this OWWA member mobile app. Ganon din po sa una po sa tugon sa ating mandato ng OWWA dun sa bagong app na 10802, meron din po dun sa unang phase ay ang pagbibigay po ng OWWA card po dun sa mga balik manggagawa. So meron po tayong ano dito sa OWWA kung paano po mag-apply. Ito po ay ang government ID po na ang layunin po nito ay ma-facilitate po ang serbisyo po sa pag-avail ng mga programa po ng OWWA. Ganun din po sa POA. So hindi na po natin kailangan pumila. I-swipe lang po nila itong card na to, pasok at ma-facilitate po ang serbisyo po. Meron po itong secret siya, naka-link po ito sa immigration po. Ganun din po sa DFA. So itong ano na ito, may link po siya. Itong ID na ito, kinapture po yung picture dun sa DFA. So wala pong picture na nangyayari, kundi link po yan lahat. Okay. Or rebate. Okay. Alinsunod din po sa ating batas ng OWWA po ay kasama po ang rebate. Doon po sa mga naging member na umabot na po ng 10 taon at nagkaroon po ng 5 contribution at hindi po nakapag-avail ng OWWA, ay maaari pong mag-apply ng rebate po. Hindi po ito refund, kundi ito porsyento po na para mabigyan po ng mga ano po yung amount maaari po kayong mag-apply dun sa OWWA. Sa OWWA po, nandun po yung sa corner sa baba po, yung itong link na ito. So, ang refund po ay pinaprocess po sa mga regional offices. Ilagay lang po doon kung anong account saan nyo i-deposit. O maaari din naman po gamitin ng pang-renewal. O kaya naman po, pwede rin kayo maging sponsor sa mga special project ng OWWA po. Okay. Paano tayo nagiging OWWA member? Paano tayo magka-qualify? Meron lang po tayong 3 letra po. Ano? Kayo ba ay nasa O? Overseas? Okay, pasok. Kayo ba ay F? Yes, Filipino. Hindi sinasabi dito kung ano yung iyong status. Ano po? Basta ikaw Filipino, nasa overseas ka, pasok. Meron kang W. Ako ay worker. Ibig sabihin, may employer ka. So you are an OFW. You are qualified for the membership regardless of your status. At kung ikaw ay dual citizen, ikaw ay may employer, pasok po na ikaw ang maging membro po. Yan po sa O, F, W, meron ka nito, pasok ka sa as member ng OWWA. Okay, ito po ang mga requirements sa ating pag-member. I-download lang po itong link na ito para sa OFW information sheet. And then, kopya ng passport dahil para tingnan natin, ikaw ay Pilipino. Proof of income dahil ikaw ay worker, meron kang income. So, may proof lang po siya. And then, membership fee, sa halaga po na $25 US. Pero sa ngayon po, sa buwan na ito ay 21.20. Depende po sa conversion ng bawat buwan. Kailangan lang po ng proof of payment, ipadala po sa amin. And then, dun sa yung ibibigay po namin yung account ko para ma-transfer na inyong bayad. Ang effectivity po nito, yung araw po na po babayad at ma-validate po namin na pumasok ang inyong bayad sa aming account. Okay. Sa nabanggit po kanina, ang dami namin jurisdiction. So magtataka ka po, nasa Brussels, pero bakit iba-iba po ang email? Inilagay na po namin para ma-classify po namin kung saan nasaan worksite ang worker. Kung kayo ay nasa Germany, pwede kayo mag-email, mag-member through the POLO. Itong email po na ito, polo.germany@gov.ph. Kung kayo ay nasa Brussels, meron din po, The Hague, Moscow. Ito po yung aming mga jurisdictions. Pero po, meron po kaming access sa lahat po ng emails po na ito. Okay po, magandang umaga po at ako'y nagpapasalamat. Sana po ay nakapagbigay ng tulong po na maintindihan po at maunawaan ang programa ng OWWA. Being a member, kailangan po natin tingnan ating protection at kasama ng ating pamilya sa pangalan ng aking mahal na administrator, Hansley J. Kakdak. Thank you. Magandang hapon. Umaga po sa inyong lahat. Thank you, sir.
Maraming salamat, Miss Sylvia, sa mga impormasyon na ipinahagi mo sa amin tungkol sa mga programa at serbisyo ng OWWA. So nakita po natin sa presentation ni Miss Sylvia kung gaano kahalaga ang maging member ng OWWA. Sa napakaliit lang na membership fee ay maaari na kayong mag-avail ng napakaraming mga serbisyo kahit na bumalik na kayo sa Pilipinas. Bago po tayo mag-proceed sa next speaker natin, I'd like to share a video from POLO.
Happy anniversary!
Ayun po, thank you very much. Through that short video, you were able to see our POLO and OWWA in action. So thank you very much to our first two speakers from POLO and OWWA. Moving on, our third speaker is Ms. Jesseline Sia. She has been the representative of the SSS office in Milan, Italy since 2017. Prior to this, she was representative at the SSS office in Brunei from 2012 to 2017. She will be celebrating her 20th year with the SSS next year. Ako, sorry pinatanda kita na booking. So I now give the floor to Miss Jessie from SSS Milan.
Hello, good morning po sa lahat. Buongiorno a tutti. I'm from SSS Milan office. Thank you, Sir Consul Bong, for that brief introduction. And Consul General Evelyn Austria Garcia, magandang umaga po. And Labat Delmer, hi sir, kumusta? It's nice to see you again. Kasama na naman tayo. And then Welfare Officer, Ma'am Sylvia. Good morning. So ako po ay mag-share po sa inyo with regards sa programs po ng Social Security System. Okay. So ang SSS po ay isang ahensya po ng government na ito po ay isang pension fund na nagbibigay sa atin po ng proteksyon. Hindi lang sa atin kundi extended po sa mga family members at saka mga beneficiaries po natin. So ito po yung outline ko po, coverage and membership, benefits and loans, and then yung services with OWWA contact channels. So, ito na sinasabi namin na ang protection that gives society to its members against the economic and social distresses caused by the contingencies. So, ano yung mga contingencies? So, ito na yung mga benefits na ma-avail ng isang member, such as sickness, maternity, disability, retirement, death and funeral, and unemployment. Sino ba ang mga coverables? So, lahat po yung mga under all private sector workers, not over 60 years old, na may at least 2,000 pesos na monthly income, ay covered po tayo. So, under yung overseas Filipinos po natin, na tayo po nandito sa abroad, under po tayo sa compulsory coverage na under ng SSS po. So, kailan po magiging effective ang pagiging SSS member natin? So, coverage of an OFW takes effect upon payment of the first monthly contribution. Let's say, sample, meron ka ng SS number before. Wala pa siyang hulog. So, meaning, hindi ka pa matatawag na isang member. Once makapag-start ka na ng bayad, on the month na nagbayad ka, let's say, nagbabayad ka ngayon, October 2020, so ito yung magiging date of coverage mo. So pag ikaw na ay mag-qualified na magiging SS member, ikaw na po ay makapag-benefit sa lahat ng mga benefits. So yung, magkano po yung mga contribution natin? So ngayon po, ang minimum monthly contribution natin is 960 pesos, which is 8,000 yung pesos yung monthly salary bracket dyan. And then yung maximum monthly contribution natin is 2,400 pesos, which is 20,000 monthly salary bracket. So ang deadline po ng payments natin, kailan? So extended po ang deadline ng payments considering the nature of works natin dito sa abroad, lalo na pagpunta sa mga remittances. Ang January to June contribution this year is pwedeng bayaran po until December of the same year. So pwede isang bayaran, pwede nyo siyang i-installment, basta until December pwede pa. Pero yung October to December contribution is pwede pang mabayaran until January 31 of the next year. So January 31, 2021. Dito po sa Germany, ito po yung mga accredited remittance or collecting partner natin. So, anytime pwede kayong mag-contact sa kanila, naka-flash po sa kanila yung email at sa telephone numbers kung saan pwede kayong magbayad ng mga contribution and loan payments ninyo. Okay. And then, meron din tayong online payment through Rewire. So, ito po yung bagong ano natin, yung malalayo na hindi makapunta sa mga remittances or ganun. Pwede nyo i-download ang Rewire. So, pwede na kayong magbayad din ng SSS contribution po ninyo. Okay. How to register? Okay. Kung wala pa po yung mga SS number, pwede po kayo, may dalawang option po tayo. Isa po, personal po kayong pupunta, pero so far dyan sa Germany, wala po kaming opisina. Pero meron po tayong pangalawang option, yung pag-apply ng SSS online. So punta lang po tayo sa SSS website na sss.gov.ph. Meron po doong lower portion doon na no SSS number yet, apply online. So pwede nyo i-click yung doon. Then once meron na po kayong SS number, may issuehan na kayo ng number, lifetime na po yan. So anytime pwede na po kayong mag-start maghulog. And yung mga meron ng SS number, may hulog man or wala. Previously, kung meron ng yung SS number, meron na tayong previous na work doon sa Pilipinas and gustong i-continue, no need na po mag-register. Kung di, ang gagawin na lang, maghuhulog na lang direct. Okay. So, pag ano po ng PRN o yung payment reference number doon po sa account ninyo sa my.sss. So, later i-explain ko sa iyo kung paano yung pag-generate po ng payment reference number or yung PRN. Okay, ano po yung mga benefits and loans na ma-avail ng mga members po ng SSS? Okay. So ito po yung 7 na po ang mga benefits natin ng under SSS kung saan makaka-access ng wide of long range and short-term benefits pati na yung member loan privileges as a result sa mga paying member natin. So included na po yung bago natin, yung meron na tayong unemployment benefit at saka yung expanded maternity leave benefit. So ito yung sinasabi natin na kapag meron na po tayong SSS number, meron na pong contribution before, lifetime na po ang membership natin. So hindi po siya maglalapse. Kung sinasabi natin, once a member, always a member. So the basis po kung magkano ang makukuha natin sa SSS, magkano yung mga benefits natin. Kung malaki po yung inuhulog natin na contribution, may corresponding monthly salary bracket po yan. So meaning, malaki din ang ma-avail nating benefits. Okay po. So unang benefits po, maternity benefit. Yung sinasabi natin na dalawa yung klase. Meron tayong long term and short term. Short term muna tayo. So when we say short term, dalawa po siya. Isa po dito, ito yung maternity. So when we say short term, dapat po active tayong maghuhulog ng contribution natin kahit nandito tayo sa abroad. Pwede tayong mag-avail ng mga benefits na to. Maternity sa mga babae lang po ito. Daily cash allowance granted to a female member who have given birth or suffer miscarriage or ectopic pregnancies. So may mga ano po dito. Dapat po, kung kayo po ay manganganak this year, meron tayong mga qualifying conditions, dapat po backtrack tayo na meron tayong active contribution 1 year within kung kailan kayo manganganak. The same with the sickness benefit. Ito po ay daily cash allowance paid to a member for the number of days he or she is unable to work due to sickness or injury. So, minimum po siya at least 4 days po na nagkakasakit. At least merong 3 monthly contribution within a 12-month period before the semester na nagkakasakit kayo. And then notified po sa SSS na kayo ay nagkakasakit, pasok po tayo dito. Opo. Then, the second type of benefit, we have the long-term benefits. So, ito na po yung pension. So ito na po, number 1 is disability benefit. So when a member, it is paid to a member who had paid kahit isang contribution and becomes permanently disabled, either total or partial. Kahit na meron kang contributions, nag-work ka sa Pilipinas 10 years ago, ngayon na disabled ka, kahit isang hulog pa lang yon, pwede ka na mag-avail ng disability. Basta qualified member na kayo. Retirement benefit. Ito yung pinaka-importanting benefit na hinahandaan natin. Lahat naman tayo papunta sa pagtanda, at least dito, ito yung cash benefit paid to a member who can no longer work and has reached the age of 60 years old. Ito ay voluntary retirement, and then by the age of 65, compulsory retirement. Qualifying conditions po natin that dapat meron tayong at least 120 monthly contributions prior to the semester of retirement. Pwede po tayong yung mga nag-age po ng 60 na qualified na meron lang 120 months at gusto pang maghulog, pwede pa po ninyong i-continue. Kasi pwede pa po until 65, which is technical na talaga, na mag-avail na talaga kayo dito, mag-apply na tayo ng retirement. Okay. Yung sinasabi ko kanina, yung SSS po natin ay hindi lang po sa ating sarili, kundi extended po yan sa family members or sa mga beneficiaries natin. So ito po yung funeral benefit. Lahat naman tayo din papunta dito. At least nakahanda tayo para may maiwan sa mga mahal natin sa buhay. Unang benefits po pag may mangyari sa isang member ay funeral benefit. Ito ay cash benefit given to whoever pays the burial expenses of the deceased member or pensioner. So, depende lang po ito sa range po ng contribution. Ang fixed amount po na 20,000 up to 40,000 po ang funeral benefit natin. Pagkatapos makaklaim ng funeral benefit, ito na po ay ang death benefit. It is a cash benefit either in monthly pension or lump sum paid to the beneficiaries of the deceased member. So when we say beneficiaries, ito na po. Sino ba yung mga beneficiaries? Ito siya. So meron po tayong 4 na klaseng beneficiaries. Number 1, we have the primary beneficiaries, dependent legal spouse, at saka yung minor children, 21 below na mga anak. Po. Pangalawa, ang secondary. Ito po yung parents of the deceased member. Okay? Ang pangatlo, designated. So, ito po yung ini-indicate natin sa members E1. So, yung mag-apply tayo nung una ng SS number, meron po tayong binilagay ng mga beneficiaries. So, yan po. And then, pag meron tayong idagdag, meron pa tayong i-report ng mga gusto nating sinong i-beneficiary. Ito po yung nasa E4 or sa member data change request natin. Ito po yung tinatawag natin na pangatlo na designated beneficiaries. And yung pang-apat, yung legal heirs, which is this is in accordance with the Family Code of the Philippines. Okay. Unemployment benefit, ito yung bago natin. Last year lang po, marami nag-avail. Ito po yung cash benefit granted to members who are involuntarily separated from employment. So, ito po yung hindi lang po kasi na timing lang tayo this year na may COVID na pandemic tayo, maraming nag-a-avail, pero 2019 pa po ito. So, kung gusto po yung mga OFWs natin na nawalan ng trabaho, kung gusto niyo, kung qualified kayo dito, mag-email muna po kayo sa amin para ma-check, and then kayo po ay nasa Germany naman, under naman kayo ng POLO Berlin. So manghihingi lang tayo, magre-request lang tayo ng POLO certification para kayo ay makapag-apply kung kayo ay qualified dito. So later on po, ipa-flash namin yung email address namin kung sinong gustong mag-avail or mag-inquire with regard kung kayo ay qualified nito sa benefit na to. Thank you. Okay. Then we have loan programs. Ito po ang loan natin, ito ay privilege lang, hindi po siya benefits, kundi kung sino lang yung gustong mag-avail nito kasi ito lang yung mga cash assistance po natin. So number 1, we have salary loan na kung meron natin at least 36 monthly contribution, meron tayong 1-month loan, based po yan sa monthly salary bracket na binabayaran natin. At kapag meron natin 72 months, we have 2-month loan. So magiging times 2 po yan. Okay. Ano po yung eligibility natin? So, at least meron tayong 36 months, of which yung 6 contribution, meron tayong kung kailan tayo magpa-file, backtrack tayo na within 1 year, meron tayong at least 6 monthly contribution. Dapat po, registered po tayo sa my.sss natin to facilitate the filing. Online application na po lahat mag-a-apply ng loans natin. So ito po yung mga access natin kung saan pwede kayong mag-file ng SSS application ninyo ng loan. So yan po. And then, Then meron din tayong educational loan. Ito po yung loan program for members or their legal spouse or children. Kapag single, mga kapatid, pwede ding mag-avail nito. Then we have din also the direct housing loan. So ito po yung construction or purchase of a residential unit. So ito po ay exclusive for OFW. So pwede kayo mag-email sa amin dito para kung kayo ay kung gusto niyo mag-avail or gusto niyo mag-inquire. Ano namin po kayo dito. Ibibigay namin sa inyo yung in charge nito. Then we have also pension loan assistance program. Ito po yung sa mga pensioners natin kasi meron naman tayong mga pensioners na gustong mag-avail ng loan. Ito po yung i-ano namin sa kanila para hindi na po sila makapag-loan doon sa labas, yung mga lalaking, yung mga interest doon. Okay. Then we have the services. So electronic services. So ito po yung website natin, yung official website ng SSS, yung www.sss.gov.ph and saka yung email address, yung ofw.relation@sss.gov.ph. Kung yung mga concerns niyo, issues, mga questions, pwede kayo dito, mga inquiries, yan. Pero kung gusto niyo po direct sa amin talaga, at dito po yung contact number namin at saka yung email address namin, milan@sss.gov.ph. Ang Germany po so far ngayon is under po ng SSS Milan, Italy. So, meron din tayong Facebook page po. Ito po yung sa Philippine Social Security System. Pwede po kayong mag-like dyan para makita niyo lahat ng mga updates and benefits po at saka mga advisories po natin. We have also the Instagram. We have Twitter account. We have YouTube. And then, ito po yung my.sss portal. Ito po yung member account. Ito po ay nire-require na natin. Lalo na ngayon sa pandemic, dapat naka-online na tayo lahat. So ito pong mga services under po ng my.sss. Lahat po na mag-avail ngayon ng mga benefits natin, dapat po naka-register na tayo online. Ano pa po yung mga ano natin dito? Ito yung sinasabi ko, kung gusto niyo yung magbayad ng contribution, meron na po yung PRN generation or yung payment reference number generation. Then, mag-i-inquire ng mga records ninyo, salary application, yung peso fund, yung members records request. Kung kayo po ay buntis, maternity notification, then meron na po tayo dito yung mga retirement claim application. Pero yung retirement claim application natin online is selected lang po, based po kasi sa mga records ninyo. And then meron din tayong flexi fund enrollment and then bank enrollment. So lahat po na mag-avail ngayon ng loan at saka mag-apply ng mga SSS benefits natin, dapat nakaregister sa my.portal natin with the bank enrollment na po. So kailangan po i-enroll na rin. Ano po yung bank na account number natin? So Philippine Savings Bank Account po siya. So dapat active po. Kung ano yung pangalan nyo sa SSS, yun din ang pangalan nyo sa bank account ninyo. Okay. So meron din tayong SSS mobile application na pwede nyo i-download po sa mga cellphones ninyo. Pwede din kayo mag-ano po dito, yung mga updates po ninyo, pwede rin kayo mag-verify din. Then, meron din tayong UMID card. So far po, sa pandemic natin, worldwide po lahat ng branches ng SSS, wala po tayong capture po ng UMID card. Ito po rin yung ACOP online. Ito po yung annual confirmations of pensioners. So yung mga pensioners natin, ikaw ay retirement pensioner or disability or survivor pensioners, ito po yung every year po na natin, magre-report po sila sa amin para sigurado ng SSS na sila ay buhay pa at saka para hindi maputol yung pension nila. So ito po yung contact channels po natin. So dito po yung kung gusto ninyong mag-inquire sa SSS, ito po yung sa related for OFWs only. Ito yung sa Pilipinas. And then, okay. So ang ano lang namin sa mga OFW, yung nga po, kapag tayo ay member, lifetime membership na po, always a member. So ang isipin din natin sa paghuhulog po ng SSS contribution, ito po ay long-term savings at ito ay hindi expense. Yan lang po. Magandang umaga po sa lahat. Grazie mille a tutti. Thank you.
Thank you, Miss Jessie, for your presentation. So, nakita po natin na talagang importante na maging updated tayo sa ating contribution sa SSS kasi merong mga services na may required minimum contribution. So, importante po. But anyway, it's very good that they have made it easier for us, yung mga nasa abroad, through online facilities like yung sinabi ni Miss Jessie na my.sss portal. So thank you very much. And for those who still have questions, I invite you to send your comments and questions to Facebook Messenger. So moving on, our fourth and final speaker is Miss Maylene Lontok Pintor. She is the Member Services Officer of Pag-ibig Fund post in Milan, Italy. She has been with the Pag-ibig since 2017. Ms. Pintor has previously worked with the PNB SPA Italy, a subsidiary of the Philippine National Bank, and she has also worked with the Philippine Health Insurance while in the Philippines. I now give the floor to Ms. Maylene of Pag-ibig Milan for her presentation.
Good morning, guten morgen, buongiorno, magandang umaga po sa inyong lahat. Bago ko po simulan ang aking presentation, nais ko pong pasalamatan ng ating butihing Consul General, Consul General Evelyn Austria Garcia, Consul Bong Villanueva, at sa mga staff na nag-organize ng webinar na ito. Maraming salamat po. Nais ko din pong batiin ng happy first anniversary ang POLO Berlin sa pamumuno ng ating Labor Attaché, Attorney Delmer Cruz, at sa kanilang mga staff. Higit sa lahat, sa mga nanonood at nakibahagi sa webinar na ito, maraming salamat po sa inyong panahon. Ang nais ko pong ibahagi sa inyo ay ang mga, bago po ang proper presentation natin, ang mga latest updates po sa Pag-ibig. Ang unang-una po, at ito po ay inilunsad noong December 2019, ay ang ating virtual Pag-ibig, ang ating online service, anytime, anywhere, kung saan maaari nyo pong mai-apply ang inyong loans, makapag-view ng inyong record, be a member at makapagbayad online. Meron din po tayong virtual agent kung saan 24/7 silang magbibigay sa inyo ng katugunan sa mga katanungan ninyo. Under the virtual Pag-ibig, pwede rin po tayong mag-online ng inyong application sa short-term loan. Mapa-multipurpose loan or calamity loan, hindi nyo na po kailangan pumunta sa any Pag-ibig branches para sa pag-a-apply. It is safer and more convenient, lalo na po sa panahon ng pandemic, kung saan hindi limited ang ating panahon sa paggalaw. Under the regular housing loan promo rates, meron po tayong updates. Under the 1-year repricing period, ngayon dati pong 5.37%, ngayon ay 4.985% na lamang. Samantalang under the 3 years repricing period, ang dati pong 6.375% ay 5.375% na lamang. Ang promo natin na ito ay valid until December 29, 2020. Ano ang Pag-ibig Fund? Ang Pag-ibig Fund po ay acronym ng ibig sabihin ay pagtutulungan sa kinabukasan, ikaw bangko, industriya at gobyerno. Ang Home Development Mutual Fund po ay isang Philippine government-owned and controlled corporation under the Department of Human Settlement and Urban Development. Ang main responsible po ng Pag-ibig is to administer the National Savings Program and to provide affordable shelter financing. So meaning, hindi lang po ang pag-ibig para sa pagpapabahay, kundi ito po ay inyong ipon din. Ano at sino-sino ang pwedeng maging pag-ibig fund member? All Filipinos covered by SSS and GSIS and Filipinos employed by foreign-based employer, mapaland-based or sea-based man. Ang ating pong mga pag-ibig fund benefits and programs ay pag-ibig regular savings, pag-ibig MP2 or modified pag-ibig 2 savings program, pag-ibig short-term loans, pag-ibig housing loans, virtual pag-ibig, loyalty card plus. Under the pag-ibig regular savings, ito yung nabanggit ko kanina na ang bawat ipon nyo kada buwan ay mapupunta sa ating regular savings. Ibig sabihin, kapag dumating ang maturity term ng ating membership savings, ay mawi-withdraw po natin. Ano-ano ang mga features nito? Ang features ng regular savings natin, may high dividend earnings tax-free, government-owned, government guaranteed, at ang last year dividend earnings natin is 6.73%. Paano maging membro? So since malayo po kami sa Germany, ang ating pong pag-ibig ay naglunsad ng virtual pag-ibig. You just simply go to our official website at www.pagibigfund.gov.ph. I-enter niyo po ang virtual pag-ibig, click be a member, and click register. Fill in all the required data at kapag natapos nyo na po successfully ang inyong registration, bibigyan kayo ng pag-ibig ng registration tracking number at after the 2 working days, maaari nyo pong ma-verify ang inyong pag-ibig mid number simply clicking be a member followed by verify mid number. Para naman po doon sa ating mga existing member na naging inactive, maaari nyo po ang isangguni sa akin ang inyong katanungan para ma-update po natin ang inyong savings records at maaari nyo din pong bisitahin ang ating official website. Meron din po tayong virtual agent na siyang sasagot sa inyong mga katanungan. Sa bawat pag-iipon, you can top up your savings. Meron tayong minimum of 100 pesos kada buwan, pero the more you save, the more dividends you get. Kaya you will enjoy saving your money if you upgrade your savings. Para po sa mga self-employed or OFW or overseas Filipino, i-upgrade nyo lang po ang inyong regular savings anytime. Ito yung most interesting part, when to withdraw your savings. Aside dun po sa membership maturity na 20 years time, meron din pong other withdrawal terms na pwede nating may consider like yung retirement, permanent total disability or insanity, termination from service by reason of health, permanent departure from the country, death, or any other reason as may be approved by the Board of Trustees. We proceed sa pag-ibig, modified pag-ibig 2 savings program. Kung tayo po ay active member ng pag-ibig 1 at nais nyo pong magdagdag ng inyong karagdagang ipon, ang MP2 po has features kung saan mas ma-enjoy ninyo ang pag-iipon kasi ang inyo lang pong term or maturity term is 5 years. Meron din po tayong high dividend earnings tax-free at pwede po kayong magkaroon ng option sa inyong dividends. It's either compounding dividends or annual dividend payouts. Dito po, para sa mga nais pa na mag-ipon ng mga pensioner or retirees, maaari nyo pong iipon or maaari nyo pong mag-open ng MP2 para sa inyong pag-iipon into 5 years time. Ang dividend earnings po natin last year ay 7.23% per annum. Paano mag-enroll? Maaari nyo din pong i-enroll ang inyong MP2. Simply log on to our official website, click Virtual Pag-ibig, click Be a Member button, followed by Apply for MP2. Upon successful enrollment, an MP2 account number will be assigned, and you may now start your MP2 programs. Ang minimum savings po natin dito is 500, but since ito po ay flexible, any amount na kaya nyo pong i-deposito ay po pwede nyong i-deposit under the MP2 savings program. We'll proceed naman po sa ating short-term loans. Under the short-term loans, pwede po kayong mag-apply ng inyong multipurpose loan. Ito po ay isang panandaliang pangangailangang pinansyal kung saan maaari nyo pong mautang up to 80% of your regular savings. Ang interest natin po is 10.5% per annum at 2 years repayment period. Ganun din po sa mga may nasalanta ng mga kalamidad, maaari nyo pong ma-apply ang calamity loan at meron tayong 5.95% per annum lowest interest rate at maaari nyo mautang 80% of your regular savings. Pwede nyo rin pong i-apply ito doon sa ating virtual Pag-ibig. Hindi nyo na kailangan pumunta sa mga nearest Pag-ibig branches. Gamit lang po ang inyong smartphone, laptop, or desktop, makakapag-apply na po kayo sa inyong mga tahanan. Proceed naman po tayo sa ating housing loan programs. Under the regular housing loan programs, meron po tayong up to 6 million allowed to borrow. Maximum po siya. May low interest rate po tayo. 30 years po ang maximum loan term natin at po pwede po tayong makapag-loan ng multiple. Meaning, kung kayo po ay may bibilhing property like house and lot, pwede po kayong combination of home improvement. Ito po yung napakita na natin na latest update sa Pag-ibig. So, for those who want to apply for the housing loan, maaari nyo pong ma-avail ang up to 5.375% per annum under the 3 years repricing period and 4.985% per annum under the 1-year repricing period. Valid po ito until December 29, 2020 only. Loan purposes. So, mostly po, may na-encounter ako pag nagtatanong sa akin, pwede po bang house construction lamang? Yes. Ang ating pong loan purposes is not only for the residential house and lot, townhouse, condominium unit, ganun din po pwede kayong bumili lamang ng residential lots, construction of house, improvement of house, or refinancing of existing housing loan. Who will be eligible for the application of housing loan? Dapat po at least may 24 months na savings, not more than 65 years old at the time of the loan application, and it's not more than 70 years old at the date of loan maturity. She or he has a legal capacity to acquire, no Pag-ibig housing loan foreclosed, canceled, bought back, or voluntary surrendered. If with existing Pag-ibig housing loan or short-term loan, kailangan po updated ang inyong payment. We also have under the acquired assets, you can buy our acquired assets up to 30% na discounts. Available po ito during the second public auction and negotiated sales. Para po sa karagdagang impormasyon, you can visit our website. Nais ko rin pong ibahagi sa inyo yung ating mga overseas remittance partner kung saan pwede kayong lumapit sa kanila. Sa Germany po, meron tayong Ventaha agent sa Salzburg. Bagamat hindi pa po updated ang ating iRemit at PNB, hopefully soon magkaroon din sila ng partnership sa bandang Germania. Nais ko din pong ibahagi ang payment channels namin, electronic payment and collection facilities in the Philippines. Over 9,384 payment partners na po tayo, almost 700 remittance partner abroad, Globe GCash, sa Pilipinas po lamang ito, mga banks like Land Bank, PNB, Security Union Banks, SM, M. Luwilier, Bayad, Center, ePay, Cash Pilipinas, Paymaya, Banknet, at para dun po sa mga mag-o-online payment gamit ang ating virtual pag-ibig or sa ating official website, tumatanggap na po ang pag-ibig ng credit card under the powered by the Visa, Mastercard, and JCB. Ako nga pala po ang inyong lingkod pag-ibig, Mylene Lontok Pintor. Ang ating pong branches, we have 137 branches in the Philippines at we have 20 overseas posts kung saan ang Milan Overseas Post ay matatagpuan sa ating Philippine Consulate General in Milan in Via Stelvio 71, Via Vernina 18. Naka-flash po sa ating screen ang aking telephone number at ang aking email para sa karagdagang impormasyon. Maraming salamat po.
Thank you, Ms. Mylene from Pag-ibig Milan. At thank you for informing us na meron palang limited offer ang Pag-ibig until the end of the year na lower interest rates for housing loans. So we invite our audience, yung mga may planong magpagawa ng bahay or to purchase a property or lot, to avail of these lowered interest rates. And it's also important to note na yung Pag-ibig is not just about housing loans dahil savings din siya. As mentioned in the presentation, mataas ang interest, 6.73 for regular savings and much higher pag pinag-usapan natin yung MP2 program. So with that, we will now proceed to the open forum, the question and answer, and I will try to read as many questions as possible. Okay, so our first question is, I'd like to address this to Attorney Delmer, to POLO and the OWWA. Just to clarify po, are all Filipino citizens living in Germany that are employed are considered OFWs? Second, are they required to have their employment contracts reviewed by POLO? What about self-employed? Are they considered OFW? And can they join OWWA?
Thank you, Consul Bong. That's a very good and relevant question. The first question is, who are considered OFWs? No? If we are to base it on the recent law, RA 10022, which amended 8042, yung definition ng OFW expanded na. No? It's very simple to remember. You don't have to be a lawyer. OFW. O, overseas, you're abroad. You're not in the Philippines. F, you're a Filipino. No? Whether dual citizen, triple citizen, basta meron kang Philippine passport as proof of citizenship, you're a Filipino. And third, you are working. Nagtatrabaho ka. Whether full-time, part-time, may papel o wala. So you are an OFW. So to that, kasi for instance, dito sa context ng Germany, we have marriage migrants who came here not through the POEA but through other process, and then nag-asawa, they're still Filipino, and then nagtatrabaho. So if you're working, you're a Filipino, passport holder ka pa rin, and you're abroad, pasok ka doon sa definition ng OFW. Second question, mandatory ba yung verification of documents? Well, if a Filipino job seeker is coming from the Philippines, no, as a general rule, mandatory talaga yon, no? You can't leave the Philippines if you go through the immigration, hahanapan ka ng OEC. The OEC is the end result of all this process, which starts from verification of employment documents sa POLO. Ngayon, may mga kababayan tayo na nandito sa Germany. For instance, yung iba sa kanila, nakarating dito pero hindi dumaan sa POEA. Probably they came here as students, as trainees, as as tourists and then nakapagtrabaho. Or meron mga iba galing sa third country, kung tawagin natin, o meron galing sa Dubai, sa Singapore, sa Hong Kong, etc. or other European countries na dumating dito sa Germany and then nagtatrabaho na. We encourage you to contact us and have your documents registered. Nang sa gayon, you will be in the database of POEA and OWWA. We will also encourage you to be a member of OWWA. I think the third question is about OWWA membership. So that's the answer to the questions number 1, 2, and 3. Thank you.
Thank you, Attorney Delmer, for your answer. Okay, another question also for OWWA this time. Umalis siya sa Philippines noong 2013 at dumaan sa OWWA training. Is she considered active? And kung inactive na, paano maging active ulit? So for Miss Sylvia, I think it has something to do with OWWA membership dahil 2013 pa siya nag-register sa OWWA and she likes to know kung active pa rin siya or considered na inactive na and she can register with OWWA online.
Doon sa ating membership promotion system po, pag oras na po na member po siya inactive, nandun na po ang record po niya. So kung sa kanya naman gusto niyang i-renew po, kailangan lang po mag-comply po dun sa nabanggit ko po kanina na OWWA. So kung trainee siya, dapat meron siyang employer. So yun lang po. It will comply dun sa requirements ng 3 letra.
Thank you, Mrs. Sylvia. I think that's very clear naman yung sa OFW na definition. Okay,
Okay.
Next question is regarding yung food assistance. Meron tayong 6 new nurses bagong dating sa Germany. They are in Stuttgart right now and are under 14-day quarantine. Can they avail of this food pack assistance?
Sa ngayon po,
sa OWWA?
Sa ngayon po ay kino-coordinate po namin yung mga ito po para diyan. So actually po para sa mga distress workers po ito, pero doon sa sitwasyon na ganyan, pwede naman pong i-accommodate po. Kailangan lang malaman lang po namin kasi kung hindi lang naman po sa 6 na yan, meron pa bang mga estimate po, statistic, kung ilan pa yung mga prospect po natin para doon sa request for budget.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Sylvia. We now have a question for SSS. For voluntary members who would like to increase their monthly contributions, yung sa bracket nila, how many levels can they increase?
Okay. Yung mga naghuhulog po ng contribution, basta wala pa po tayong 55 years old, below 55 years old po ha, anytime pwede magtaas, magbaba ng contribution. Nasa sa inyo po kung magkano o aling bracket ang pipiliin ninyo. Pero pag once naka-reach na tayo ng 55 years old, kung ano na yung bracket natin, doon na po tayo. So kung gusto lang po nating iangat yan, above 55 years old, 1 step higher na lang po tayo sa bracket. Yan lang po. Pero kapag below 55, may pwedeng magtaas. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Jessie. Follow-up question also for SSS. Can a former Filipino, now a naturalized German citizen, invest in FlexiFund kung meron siyang active or dormant SSS membership?
Okay. Yung mga Filipino before na meron ng SSS contribution doon sa Pilipinas and then gustong ituloy dito, pwede rin din kayong mag-apply ng FlexiFund. So hindi po tayo pwedeng maghulog ng FlexiFund kung hindi po tayo magbabayad ng contribution. So dapat po tandem po siya palagi. And then yung maka-qualify po para sa FlexiFund is dapat po ang contribution natin is nasa maximum. So far ngayon, ang maximum contribution natin is 2,400 pesos. Pasubrahan nyo lalayan para sa FlexiFund deposit niyo.
Okay, I have a follow-up, a personal question din for SSS, because I note dun sa presentations mo na kailangan magkaroon ng active Philippine Savings Bank account to avail of these services kasi doon ipapasok yung mga funds, di ba? So the question is, especially for Filipinos here in Germany na naturalized na, naging German citizens na. And from our experience, mahirap kasi mag-open ng bank account sa Philippines kung foreign national ka na dahil hinahanapan ka ng Philippine passport, ng valid Philippine passport. Pwede po ba, paano po makakapag-avail ng services kung wala kaming active Philippine Savings Bank account? Ano po ang alternative? Pwede po bang joint account?
Okay. Para po sa bank account natin, dapat po single savings bank account. Philippine Single Savings Bank account po siya. So, I know na kadalasan dyan sa German, wala tayong dual citizenship, right? So, ito po yung nakabinbin natin last time, yung with regard sa yung pag-open ng bank account. Kasi lahat po ngayon ng mga benefits natin, direct credit na po sa bank account. So, ito po yung good news natin ngayon. So, I ask naman po, yung mga iba na magbabakasyon sa Pilipinas, meron namang mga bangko na pwede ninyong puntahan, like Metrobank, pwede kayo mag-apply. Basta po, meron lang tayong kahit na isang bank, Philippine IDs. Kung yung mga SSS member natin na may SSS IDs na po, or any valid IDs po na Philippine, pwede po tayo mag-apply. And then meron po tayo ngayong isa, which is pwede na kayong mag-apply online. Ito po yung Overseas Filipino Bank natin or under po siya ng Land Bank. So, ifo-flash ko lang muna po ito kung ano po yung screen po natin kanina yung sa natin po, yung OWWA Bank. So yan po yung natin, yung Overseas Filipino Bank po. So, pwede nyo i-download po yan, yung mobile bank nila. Pwede kayo mag-apply as long as meron kayong kahit isang Philippine ID. Pwede na po dyan. So, ito po yung natin online ngayon. So, kapag meron na pong mag-i-issue na po sila ng bank account number, so pwede na po nila po for activation yan, pwede na nila pong bayaran doon sa mga remittance na malapit sa kanila. Then pag uwi nila sa Pilipinas, any land bank branch po, pwede nilang makuha yung ATMs nila. Yan po.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Jessie. Now we have a question for Pag-ibig. Ano po ang advantage ng investing in MP2 compared to other investments like yung time deposit sa banks or investing in stock market? And secondly, required ba magkaroon ng regular account for Pag-ibig before you can enroll in an MP2 account? Pwede po bang mag-enroll din sa MP2 account online? And how many MP2 accounts can we apply?
Okay.
Marami yun.
Ang dami yan, sir. Okay, unahin natin yung unang questions. Pagdating po sa comparison between the other financing institutions, so with regards to Pag-ibig, as we all know, meron tayong high dividend earnings. Umabot na po tayo sa 7.37%. So doon pa lang po malaki na yung edge natin. And since ang ating dividend is compounding dividends into 5 years, most probably the time that they reach the 5-year terms, makukuha po nila ang savings nila na may mas mataas na dividend earnings. Pangatlo po, sir, as we all know that Pag-ibig is governmentally owned, so may government guaranteed po ang kanilang savings. Para po dun sa mga nais na may assurance 100% na babalik ang kanilang pera, might as well i-deposito nila ang kanilang savings sa MP2 kasi dito po low risk ang ating purpose sa MP2. So low risk po pag nag-savings tayo sa MP2. May compounding dividends po at much higher ang dividend earnings, tax-free at governmentally owned. Para naman po dun sa pangalawang questions, kung pwedeng mag-MP2 kahit walang regular pag-ibig savings, hindi po pwede kasi ang atin pong basic ruling is that we have to be actively member ng pag-ibig regular savings natin before we avail the pag-ibig MP2. So dapat po actively member ng pag-ibig 1 bago mag-proceed ng MP2 savings. At yung pangatlo, sir, can I repeat the question?
Okay, yung pangatlo, how many MP2 accounts can they enroll? Pwede rin bang mag-shift from regular pag-ibig account to MP2 or separate dapat yun?
Yes po. Para po dun sa nagtatanong kung pwedeng ma-ship, hindi po siya po pwedeng i-ship kasi po siya ay separate accounts na inoffered ng pag-ibig para dun sa mga nais mag-open ng 5-year term lamang. Ang regular savings po natin kasi has a maturity term na we called it a retirement savings nyo po kasi lump sum nyo siya makukuha, while the MP2 is into 5 years term. So kaya po separate po siya, but don't worry po, both savings gaining separate dividends. So meaning to say, yung lahat po ng nadideposit ninyo from Pag-ibig 1 at MP2, separate po siyang kumikita tax-free. Tapos dun po sa next question, if how many MP2, pwede po kayong mag-create ng maraming account under the MP2. So more than one po is allowed to enroll under the MP2 savings program. Thank you po.
Okay, I think Attorney Delmer is raising his hand.
Thank you, Consul Bong. Meron lang akong question, if not suggestion, no? Matagal ko na nakakasama to si Jess tsaka si Miles sa aming mga outreach, and very important nga itong programs and services ng OWWA, Pag-ibig and SSS, because not only they are for social protection, but even from the perspective ng financial education, it's a good yung savings and investment. Ang tanong ko lang kay Miles, nabanggit ko na sa ito noon pa. Meron bang possibility na i-open ng MP2 for foreign currencies? Like for instance, dito sa Europe, baka yung savings ng mga tao, it's in euro or maybe in dollars, and they'd like to park it for 5 years. May possibility ba na mabuksan ito sa major currency denominations? Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Labat Delmer, para sa inyong relevant question regarding to savings. But basically po, under the charter ng Pag-ibig, ating pong Pag-ibig savings is for all Filipino pa lamang po. So wala pa tayo dun sa but we're looking forward po. But for now po, sa atin pong under the charter, this is all only for the Pag-ibig Filipino members lamang. So hindi pa po siya allowed to foreign currency.
No, I mean Filipino members, pero ang pera nila is meron silang euro o kaya meron silang dollar. At yun yung gusto nilang i-park dito sa MP2.
Okay. Anyway, as Kalabat, kasi as of now po, since we have overseas collecting partners, no, kahit po pera nila from euro ay pwede nilang i-save, but it will convert into peso pa rin po, sir. So wala pa rin po yung euro to euro or dollar to dollar. But then, dun sa mga membro po, since we also have yung virtual online payment, kahit po international credit cards, regardless po yan kung euro, dollar, if you pay it to Pag-ibig, it will directly converted into peso.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for the clarification, Miles. We have similar questions for SSS and Pag-ibig. Yung mga nakalimutan na nila ang kanilang mga numbers. So I'm sure they can contact you para ma-check nyo kung ano yung mga dati nilang numbers. And secondly, marami ring questions about how to make the payments and contributions while they are here in Germany. Siguro na-miss out lang nila during your presentations, but this was already covered, so they can review the proceedings later on. Makikita nila because you presented kung paano naman makapag-deposit, remit ng kanilang contributions even while they are abroad, especially here in Germany. Andun yung mga rewire and yung mga partner banks. So nandun nun yun. They can check with the Facebook yung sa ano natin, yung presentation natin after the webinar. And they can also contact you directly through your emails. Meron din tayong mga questions na medyo detailed na, personal na. Hindi naman natin gustong i-publicize yung mga personal circumstances nila. So we encourage our audience to send your questions directly to our resource speakers through their contact information. We will publish that, we will upload that at the end of the webinar. So pwedeng directly na lang nilang sagutin yung question nyo. Okay, so also, ngayon, meron pang question also for Pag-ibig and SSS. Meron bang amnesty or condonation sa mga loans for late payments now na dumadaan tayo sa pandemic at sa crisis? For SSS and Pag-ibig.
Okay. So, sa Pag-ibig po, meron po tayong mga Bayanihan Act 2 kung saan during the pandemic, ayan po ay makikita natin sa ating official website na open po ito to all borrowers regardless po kung housing or short-term loan na makapag maihinto pansamantala starting September 15 until November 14 ang kanilang pagbabayad ng amortization. Para po sa pag-a-avail nito, no need na pong i-apply, pero for those who would like po to pay continuously at hindi i-avail ang Bayanihan Act, doon po sa ating official website ng Pag-ibig, may i-click lang po silang link doon para ma-avail po nila yung ating Bayanihan Act 2 for non-availment of Bayanihan Act 2. And we also have additional programs, we called it a restructuring program po, na ang atin pong validity ng atin pong restructuring program is until December 15. Ito po ay para dun sa mga hindi nakakapagbayad or may arrears na not more than 12 years, ay pwede not more than 12 months, I'm sorry po, 12 months na hindi nakakapagbayad, pwede po silang mag-avail ng restructuring. Ang filing po nito is until December 15 po lamang, kaya para dun sa mga merong arrears, pwede po silang magpa-restructure ng kanilang loans.
Okay, for SSS naman, sa condonation natin or amnesty sa loans, wala po tayo ngayon. Kasi katatapos lang natin last year, 1 year po yun, so hindi pa natin alam. But with regards naman sa pandemic, meron po tayo yung sa first natin, yung sa moratorium, yung sa loans, meron pa naman po. So kung sino man yung gusto, pwede na kayong direct mag-email sa amin para ma-check yung records ninyo po. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Jessie and Miles, for the clarification. Okay, very quickly lang, I'd like to pose this question to POLO and OWWA. Ano po ba ang latest policy natin for nurses to be deployed here in Germany? Existing pa rin po ba yung ban? And for OWWA, yung mga Filipino overseas workers na pauwi sa atin sa Philippines, sagot pa rin po ba ng OWWA yung expenses for COVID test and hotel quarantine? And meron pa rin po ba binibigay na 10,000 pesos cash assistance?
Thank you, Consul Bong. Thank you for that question from our viewer. Sa ngayon, ang current policy ng Philippine government with regard to deployment of healthcare workers overseas ay makikita po sa IATF Resolution number 64. Pinapairal pa rin po yung temporary suspension of deployment of healthcare workers, which includes nurses going to Germany. Subalit, meron po tayong exception. Originally, March 8 yung cut-off date, no? The exception says, basta yung nurse nakapirma na ng kontrata on or before March 8, ay papayagan siyang ma-process at mabigyan ng OEC at makakaalis ng Pilipinas papuntang Germany. Kasi alam po natin dito sa yung process kasi sa Germany, they have to take the German language training muna, no, mga 8 months yan, no. So merong mga nasa pipeline before before maganap itong pandemya. And then from March 8, in-extend po ito August 31. Pinaglaban po ni Secretary Bello yan sa IATF. And good news, very recently, just the other day, in-extend naman po, nakumbinsi po nila ang ating Pangulo, Presidente, in-extend up to September 30. Harinawa, depende po sa magiging sitwasyon, ay ma-extend pa further ito. Yan po ang inaasam po ng ating mahal na kalihim, Silvestre Bello. If not, ma-lift na yung suspension. But the department is working on that. Thank you.
Okay, for OWWA, yung question regarding yung mga pauwing Pilipino or yung mga nagbabakasyon. Miss Sylvia.
Sa mga pauwi pong Pilipino po, maipapakita po lang po doon sa OWWA sa pagdating po na sila ay OFW. Sagot po ng gobyerno po ang swab test at saka yung hotel and food. So yun po.
Okay, thank you, Miss Sylvia. Marami pa po tayong tanong. However, I'm looking at the clock. It's already 12:04 noon. And hindi na natin ma-accommodate ang mga questions. So we encourage our audience to send your questions directly to our resource speakers through their email, or pwede rin kayong mag-Viber or WhatsApp sa mga contact numbers nila. We will, as I said again, a while ago, we will post their contact information at the end of the webinar. So with that, on behalf of the Consul General, I wish to thank our special guest for spending time with us during this weekend, to my colleagues in the consulate for helping me out with the preparations, and of course to our participants and viewers who joined us on Facebook Live, to the Philippine Embassy in Berlin and the Consulate General in Milan for their support, and to the Lord God for making all things possible and for keeping us safe during these difficult times. So once again, we wish everyone a happy and safe weekend. Maraming salamat po. Thank you for joining us. Until next time.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
A blessed weekend to all. Maraming salamat, Delmer, Sylvia, Eileen, and everyone. Thank you, Consul Bong.
Thank you po.
Here po.